Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Hazelbarrel Craftworks here in the Hazelbarrel Homestead and our humble whiskey room. I'm the Alchemist. Merry Christmas. I hope you all made it through Christmas and had a wonderful Christmas here on this Friday. I know I did. Got to spend a little bit of time with my son and the twins, my baby, who's my youngest daughter. Well, she's not such a baby anymore. She's married and on her own, but I still call her baby. She'll always be my baby. And my wife's daughter, she spent the week with us actually, came up from Sioux Falls and had a great time with her as well. Was a great Christmas day for us. And today we are looking at the final whiskey of Bob Dylan's Heaven's Door Trilogy. And this whiskey is called Refuge. And you take a look at that name Refuge, and that's kind of a powerful name, Refuge. You know, it's kind of a name. It's what? Somewhere that, well, where you feel safe. And really what I'd like to do before we even get started is talk about my friend Jeremy. And any of y'all who tuned in at all this week to any of the videos know that we would not have our whiskeys of this week if it was not for my friend Jeremy, who I met through our Bourbon Auto community, who is also watches my YouTube videos and tunes in. Jeremy gifted me these whiskeys out of his generosity, and generous not just to myself, but generous to others through his work, generous to the Bourbon Auto community. And what I'd like to do right now is, when I talk about Refuge, Jeremy is a pillar of the Bourbon Auto community. And I would like all of us right now who are watching to raise a glass to Jeremy, who through his tireless efforts helps create a refuge for all of us in the whiskey community, for all of us in the Bourbon Auto community who need that refuge, who know we can go into Bourbon Auto and find a safe place to feel comfortable, to talk whiskey, to talk bourbon, to talk spirits with no judgment. Feel free to say what we need to say, and we can say it, and nothing negative will be said, and it's all safe. That is a refuge. And Jeremy helps to create that environment, to ensure that it's safe for everyone to be there, and it's comfortable, and it's fun, and we can all have a good time. And so, to Jeremy, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for creating that refuge. Cheers. Now, let's finish our talk on Heaven's Door. Let's finish what Bob Dylan started with his Iron Gate, with his Heaven's Door whiskey. The Refuge is a straight rye whiskey. And if you remember if you tuned in on Wednesday and remember it all, the revelation was a blend of 3 whiskeys. One of those was a rye whiskey, and I picked up many notes of that rye spice. And as we talk through Bob Dylan's inspiration, through his passion for building gates, we started out in the beginning with the revival. And in the revival, this is where Bob Dylan is taking the heat of the torch and melding and forming the metals to start the structure and put it together, the main structure of that gate. Just like you're putting together the grains and the water and the wood and taking the time to put together your whiskey. And then you come together and you have Revelation. And in Revelation, in that gate, is where Mr. Dylan is seeing, in his artistic eyes, he's seeing the spaces in the gate and the beauty in the gate. And he's building character in a whiskey by doing something different. And the spaces to him, he sees that beauty, the light coming through. And in the Revelation, as he builds that character, he sees the light and he's doing something different with that light as he's building that different barrel, and he's creating something different. And now what we're doing here in the Refuge, as we're getting that gate ready to open, we're refining it. We're putting a nice, beautiful coat over that gate. We're refining the edges. And that's what Mr. Dylan did with Refuge. He says, yes, I've got this beautiful rye whiskey, but I need to smooth the edges. I need to refine this one. I need to make this Refuge ready to open that gate and make everyone feel safe to have this beautiful rye whiskey. So what does he do? He gets Amontillado sherry casks and he lets this aged rye whiskey finish for a year or so in these sherry casks. And so I take this glass that I raised to Jeremy, and now, and I tell you what, it was so hard for me not to give it away, but that first sip that I raised to Jeremy was a good one. And oh, this nose. Not only do I immediately have beautiful rye spice and that same mintiness that I got off of the Revelation, I have that, but sherry sweetness just rushes out with it. It's quite refined, but I still need more sips. And I tell you what, I don't know if right now if more sips are truly because I need to open up my palate or because it's out of pure selfishness. Because this rye herbalness and that rye mintiness combined with this sherry sweetness, I was all ready to say in Wednesday's video that I thought Revelation couldn't be beat out of these 3, but this is a contender. Wow. That is quite a combination. Broken record here. The rye herbalness and that mintiness and that sherry sweet combined is such an inviting palate to have, and it is all over my palate. All over. I don't know what else to say. What a nice pour. Slight bit of heat on the tip of the tongue. It dissipates rather quickly. I mean, I mean slight. And it does dissipate quickly. You get a slight bit of heat on the back of the palate. Not overly viscous. I guess I didn't check the Glen much there beforehand. I was so eager to try this one again after I did the Cheers to Jeremy that I forgot to check the Glen for viscosity there. Well, there are some legs there, but on the palate, it's not overly viscous on the palate. .92 proof, just like Revival was. I'm getting no drying. I'm getting no additional notes than what I've already explained, but these notes that I am getting are so defined and so good. That this is a bottle that if I set up on a Friday for a rye, it would be pour number 1 and pour number 2 and pour number 3. This is just such an inviting pour. I'd have to say well done. And so on this day after Christmas, I'd have to say that Mr. Dillon has built his structure. He has brought together the character and the definition and the beauty. He has refined it so that we can open our gate to our refuge. And to you all, I say, continue your liquor picking. Keep finding those beautiful whiskeys and finding what you like and exploring and looking for more. But even more so, as you all know, I love having you coming back around. So please, especially during the holiday season, please take it easy. Don't drink and drive. Cheers.